Eugene "Big" U. Henley Jr. was a name whispered in hushed tones, a figure shrouded in both fear and admiration. He was a known leader of the Rollin '60s neighborhood Crips, a powerful street gang that had terrorized South Los Angeles for decades. But Henley was more than just a gang leader. He was a music executive, a community activist, and a self-proclaimed reformed gangster. Henley had successfully rebranded himself as a pillar of the community, someone who had escaped the clutches of gang life and was dedicated to helping others do the same. His non-profit organization, Developing Options, was lauded for its work with at-risk youth, but behind this carefully constructed facade of legitimacy lurked a darker truth. On March 19, 2025, the illusion shattered. The U.S. Department of Justice dropped a bombshell, indicting Henley and 10 of his associates on a slew of federal charges, including racketeering, extortion, human trafficking, and fraud. The indictment painted a chilling picture of Henley's criminal enterprise, one that stretched far beyond the streets of south-central Los Angeles. The news sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry, the Los Angeles community, and beyond. How could a man who had so publicly renounced his past be accused of such heinous crimes? The answer, as investigators would soon reveal, lay in the intricate web of lies, manipulation, and violence that Henley had spent years weaving. The indictment against Eugene "Big" U. Henley Jr. and his associates reads like a Hollywood crime thriller. It details a sprawling criminal network operating under the guise of Henley's legitimate businesses. The charges are vast and varied, painting a picture of an organization engaged in a wide range of illicit activities. At the heart of the indictment are allegations of violations of the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations, or RICO Act. The RICO Act, enacted in 1970, was designed to combat organized crime by targeting the structure and activities of criminal enterprises. To prove a RICO violation, prosecutors must demonstrate a pattern of racketeering activity, which includes a variety of offenses such as extortion, fraud, and murder. The indictment alleges that Henley and his associates engaged in extortion, using threats of violence to intimidate and extort money from individuals and businesses. They are also accused of human trafficking, exploiting vulnerable individuals for forced labor and commercial sex. The indictment further alleges that Henley's organization was involved in various forms of fraud, including credit card fraud, identity theft, and money laundering. One of the most shocking accusations leveled against Henley is his alleged involvement in the 2021 murder of aspiring rapper Rayshawn Williams, known as R.W. Williams, who had been mentored by Henley, was found dead in his Hollywood Hills home, a victim of an apparent robbery gone wrong. The indictment alleges that Henley ordered the hit on Williams after a business dispute escalated. These charges paint a picture of Henley as a ruthless criminal mastermind who used his reputation and influence to further his illicit enterprises. The indictment alleges that Henley's criminal activities spanned several years and involved a complex network of associates, including high-ranking members of the Rollin '60s Crips. Central to the indictment against Henley is his nonprofit organization, Developing Options. Founded in 2015, Developing Options presented itself as a beacon of hope in South Los Angeles, offering mentorship programs, job training, and educational opportunities to at-risk youth. The organization garnered praise and support from celebrities, politicians, and community leaders, all eager to align themselves with Henley's message of redemption and community upliftment. However, the indictment alleges that Developing Options was nothing more than a front for Henley's criminal enterprise. Prosecutors allege that Henley used the organization to launder money, funnel funds to his associates, and enrich himself. They claim that Henley siphoned off donations meant for the organization's programs, using the money to fund his lavish lifestyle and support his criminal activities. Adding to the intrigue, the indictment alleges that Henley defrauded NBA athletes through Developing Options. He's accused of soliciting investments from these athletes under false pretenses, promising them substantial returns that never materialized. The indictment claims that Henley used his celebrity status and connections within the music industry to gain the trust of these athletes who were often eager to give back to their communities. The indictment further alleges that Henley submitted a fraudulent COVID-19 relief loan application through Developing Options, exploiting a program designed to help struggling businesses during the pandemic. Prosecutors claim that Henley used the ill-gotten gains to purchase luxury goods and real estate. The allegations against Henley and Developing Options are a stark reminder that appearances can be deceiving. What appeared to be a legitimate organization dedicated to helping the community was allegedly a front for criminal activity. The indictment paints a picture of Henley as a master manipulator who exploited the trust of those around him for his own personal gain. To understand the rise and fall of Eugene "Big U" Henley Jr., one must delve into the turbulent world from which he emerged. Born and raised in the heart of south-central Los Angeles, Henley's life was inextricably intertwined with the Rollin '60s neighborhood Crips, one of the largest and most notorious street gangs in America. Henley rose through the ranks of the Rollin '60s, gaining a reputation for his intelligence, charisma, and ruthlessness. He was a natural leader, capable of inspiring both loyalty and fear. Under his leadership, the Rollin '60s expanded their criminal operations, controlling a vast network of drug trafficking, extortion, and violence that stretched across South Los Angeles. However, Henley's ambitions extended beyond the streets. He had a keen interest in music and saw an opportunity to leverage his influence in the streets to build a legitimate business empire. In the early 2000s, Henley founded Unique Music, a record label that would become instrumental in launching the careers of several prominent West Coast rappers. It was during this time that Henley crossed paths with an aspiring young rapper named Ermias Asghedom, better known to the world as Nipsey Hussle. Henley recognized Hussle's talent and drive and took him under his wing, becoming his mentor and business partner. Under Henley's guidance, Hussle's career flourished, and he became one of the most respected and influential figures in hip-hop. Henley's foray into the music industry gave him a veneer of legitimacy, allowing him to rub shoulders with celebrities, politicians, and business leaders. He used this newfound platform to reinvent himself as a community activist, someone who had turned his back on his criminal past and was dedicated to helping others escape the cycle of poverty and violence. Section 5. Rayshawn Williams, a life cut short. Rayshawn Williams, known to the world as R.W., was a rising star in the world of hip-hop, a young man with a bright future ahead of him. He had talent, charisma, and a drive to succeed that had caught the attention of many, including Eugene "Big U" Henley Jr. Williams, like Henley, was a product of south-central Los Angeles, and he too had seen his share of hardship and struggle, but music was his escape, his passion, and he poured his heart and soul into his craft. Henley, recognizing Williams's potential, took him under his wing, hoping to guide him to stardom. However, the relationship between Henley and Williams soured, the details shrouded in mystery. Some whispered of a business dispute, others of a personal falling out. Whatever the reason, the once promising partnership had dissolved, leaving behind a bitter residue. On a fateful night in 2021, tragedy struck. Williams was found dead in his Hollywood Hills home, the victim of an apparent robbery gone wrong. The news sent shockwaves through the music industry and left many wondering who could have committed such a senseless act. The indictment against Henley alleges that he ordered the hit on Williams, claiming that the murder was a cold-blooded act of revenge. Prosecutors allege that Henley had become enraged over Williams's refusal to comply with his demands and in a fit of anger had decided to silence the young rapper permanently. The murder of Rayshawn Williams cast a long shadow over Henley's carefully cultivated image as a reformed gangster. It was a stark reminder of the violence that had always lurked beneath the surface, a violence that Henley had seemingly left behind, but that had ultimately come back to haunt him. Section 6. Justice served, authorities speak out. The March 19, 2025, indictment of Eugene "Big U" Henley Jr. sent shockwaves through Los Angeles and beyond. Authorities who had been meticulously building their case for years were finally ready to unveil the extent of Henley's alleged criminal enterprise. Acting U.S. Attorney Joseph McNally, speaking at a press conference, did not mince words, calling Henley a violent street criminal masquerading as an anti-gang activist. McNally laid out the government's case, detailing the charges against Henley and his associates, and describing the sophisticated operation they had allegedly been running for years. IRS Special Agent Tyler Hatcher, who had been instrumental in the investigation, highlighted the financial aspects of the case. Hatcher presented evidence of Henley's alleged extortion schemes, tax evasion, and fraudulent use of his nonprofit organization, Developing Options. He described Henley's actions as a blatant betrayal of public trust, emphasizing the brazen nature of his alleged crimes. FBI Assistant Director Akil Davis provided insight into the extensive investigation that had led to the indictment. Davis spoke of the 4-year operation, which involved undercover agents, wiretaps, and surveillance, all aimed at dismantling Henley's alleged criminal network. He praised the collaborative efforts of the various law enforcement agencies involved, emphasizing their commitment to bringing Henley to justice. LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell echoed Davis's sentiments, commending the interagency cooperation that had been crucial to the success of the investigation. McDonnell acknowledged the impact that Henley's alleged crimes had had on the Los Angeles community, particularly in South Central, and pledged to continue working tirelessly to combat gang violence and organized crime. Section 7. The Price of Power. Potential sentences loom. As the legal proceedings against Eugene Big U. Henley Jr. and his associates begin, the potential consequences of their alleged actions hang heavy in the air. The charges levied against them, particularly the RICO Act violations, carry significant penalties that could result in lengthy prison sentences. Henley, as the alleged ringleader of the criminal enterprise, faces the most serious charges and, consequently, the most severe potential punishment. If convicted on all counts, he could face a maximum sentence of life in prison. The RICO Act alone carries a maximum sentence of 20 years, which can be stacked on top of sentences for other offenses. Sylvester V. Robinson and Mark Bear Claw Martin, 2 of Henley's alleged top lieutenants, also face substantial prison time. Both men are charged with racketeering conspiracy, which carries a maximum sentence of 20 years. They are also charged with other offenses, such as extortion and drug trafficking, which could add years to their sentences, if convicted. The remaining defendants, charged with various offenses ranging from drug trafficking to firearms violations, also face the prospect of significant prison sentences. The severity of their sentences will depend on the specific charges against them, their criminal histories, and the outcome of their trials. The potential sentences facing Henley and his associates serve as a stark reminder of the price of power and the consequences of choosing a life of crime. The indictment against them is a testament to the unwavering commitment of law enforcement to dismantle criminal organizations and bring those who operate outside the law to justice. Section 8. The fugitive Henley on the run. As the net closed in and the weight of the federal indictment against him became undeniable, Eugene Big U. Henley Jr. made a fateful decision. He vanished. While his alleged associates, Sylvester V. Robinson and Mark Bear Claw Martin, were apprehended and taken into custody, Henley seemingly disappeared into thin air. Law enforcement officials, caught off guard by Henley's sudden disappearance, launched a manhunt, determined to bring the fugitive to justice. The FBI issued a warrant for Henley's arrest, circulating his photograph and description to law enforcement agencies nationwide. They warned the public that Henley should be considered armed and dangerous, urging anyone with information about his whereabouts to come forward. As the days turned into weeks, speculation about Henley's whereabouts ran rampant. Some theorized that he had fled the country, seeking refuge in a place where he could live out his days beyond the reach of American law enforcement. Others believed that he was hiding in plain sight, relying on his connections and resources to evade capture. The mystery surrounding Henley's disappearance only added to his notoriety, casting a long shadow over the case. While his alleged associates awaited trial, Henley's absence loomed large, a constant reminder of the unfinished business that lay ahead. Section 9. Conclusion: A legacy tarnished. The indictment of Eugene Big U. Henley Jr. marked a stunning fall from grace for a man who had carefully constructed an image of himself as a reformed gangster turned community activist. The charges against him, if proven in court, would shatter this carefully crafted facade, revealing a darker truth that lay beneath the surface. Henley's story, once hailed as a testament to the power of redemption, now serves as a cautionary tale about the allure of power, the seductive nature of wealth, and the enduring grip of the streets. It is a reminder that the past has a way of catching up with the present, no matter how hard one tries to outrun it. As the legal proceedings against Henley and his associates continue, the Los Angeles community grapples with the implications of his alleged crimes. The trust that he had built, the relationships he had forged, and the reputation he had cultivated lay in ruins, casualties of his alleged betrayal. The legacy of Eugene Big U. Henley Jr. remains to be written. Will he be remembered as a man who succumbed to the temptations of his past, or will he find a way to atone for his alleged crimes and salvage some semblance of redemption? Only time will tell.